right? 7 simple steps to becoming a network marketing professional. Because the reality is that you can be an amateur and have absolutely no or little success, or you can become a professional and absolutely dominate. Okay, so get this book, guys. It's really important, and just start reading it, or just buy it, put it down so that when you're finished with your first year in network marketing, you can start on this next one. Now, if you're thinking that, okay, where can I get these books? You can get them on Audible, right? You can listen to them on Audible. You can get them on your tablet, on your phone. You can get them through Kindle, right? If you want a physical book, you can go to your local bookstore and you can get them. If you're thinking, oh man, but I don't have money to spend on books, then you can go on Google, right? Google, everybody's best friend, and you can actually download the torrent for free. So if you're on this line, I know that that was one of your questions. Then that means that you have no excuse why you can't read these books. Okay, so the next book, and I know it's a personal favorite. It's a personal favorite of mine. It's one of Ron's favorite books. Akeem, our chairman leaders, Akeem and Kai, they always walk around everywhere they go, no matter which country they're in, they always have this book. Why? Because it literally is a blueprint to building a massive network marketing business. So if you literally want an A to Z, you want an A to Z guideline, you want an A to Z blueprint on exactly how you can scale your business, going from zero to hero, right? Going from 0 to Chairman 500, then this book is going to change your life. Okay, and I'm not exaggerating, because it was the moment that I read this book, my business exploded. I remember I called Akeem. He's my mentor. I called up Akeem and said, Akeem, I feel stuck. I'm not leveling up. Why? And Akeem said, simply, Deborah, you're not reading the books. And he told me to Deborah, if you want to take your business to the next level, you need to read Building an Empire. And the moment I read these books, I ranked up. I leveled up. So if you guys want to take your business to the next level, if you guys want to have massive duplication in your business, if you guys want to know the tips and tricks on how to just grow, then this is the book to get, Building an Empire by Brian Carruthers. All right, now let's talk about leadership, because as we always talk about in our presentations, everything rises and falls in leadership, right? And the fact of the matter is that people join to make money. All right, let's be real. People come on board with iMarkets Live to make money, whether it's trading or network marketing. The goal is to make money. But why people stay is because of the value that you give them. People stay for the feeling. People stay because they're getting value from you as their leader. So if you have nothing to offer, why should they stay? Especially if it's a situation where they've already learned and mastered trading. Why should they stay? So guys, if you're having a retention problem right now, if you're bringing people into the business but they're not staying, it might be a situation where your leadership needs to be checked. All right, it might be a situation where you need now to level up, not by just activity, but personal development. And the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell is definitely the book to literally help you catapult to the next level, right? To help you not only recruit, but to be of value, okay? So guys, get this book. It literally helps you to take everything to the next level. That's the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. So guys, drum roll, please, okay? The next book is from a young man who we respect, who we look up to, who has made multiple 6 figures, right? Who is from the Caribbean, okay? Let's just put that in there. Who is a local. And he just launched his best-selling book, The I in Team, all right? And I want everyone right now, well, not right now, but after this call, to go to akeemborn.com, and I want you to get this book, all right? Because guess what? It literally also helps you with principles of leadership that defy convention. So if you want to okay, listen, if you want to be mind blown, if you want to say, if you've ever heard Akeem speak and you're saying, man, every sentence out of his mouth is just bars, it's just sauce, he's just resonating, he's just relatable, he's just able to just, relate to everyone, he just knows the right thing to say. If you want to be like that, if you want to be able to take not only your business, but your personal self to the next level, right? If you want to be like this John C. Maxwell certified leader, if you want to be like this sought after person, you know, in the entire Caribbean, entire world, then you want to get his book. Because guess what? Readers are leaders, guys. Readers are the ones who always level up. If you look at the average CEO, if you look at the average leader, if you look at the average millionaire, the average billionaire, they're all readers, every single one of them. And Akeem made a decision that he's going to write this book because he found the formula to going from 0 to 6 figures multiple times. And if someone does something multiple times, it can't be a backups. It can't just be a thing where, oh man, you know, it's just a situation where he was in the right place at the right time. No, it means that he has the sauce. It means that he has the formula. He has the remedy. He has the solution on how to go from broke, right? Go from broke, busted, and disgusted. Go from not knowing anything. Go from not being seen as a leader. Go from, you know, not having results to getting to wherever you want to go in life. So guys, I need everyone to take this thing serious. I want you guys to, especially to get this book because it's going to take you to the next level. So guys, our mission, and I want everybody to screenshot this right now, it's to educate, to empower 5,000 families across the globe with tools and strategies to become full-time investors, encourage personal growth and development. All right. So guys, it's not just about making money. Let's get this clear, because you can make millions of dollars and lose it the next day. Okay. It's not only about learning how to trade. Okay. It's about learning how to keep the money after you make it as well. And by you plugging in every Tuesday on this call, by you being able to actually have the mental capacity to actually handle that type of income, because if you can't handle 1,000, how are you going to handle 1,000,000? If you are able to get that, right? Be able to have that personal growth and development through our training platforms, what's going to happen is that people who come on board, you yourself are going to be able to successfully take over your financial destiny. And I want you guys to drop a 7 in the chat if you're ready to take over your financial destiny, and if you're ready to help the masses take over their financial destiny. Guys, because there is a wealth transfer that is happening in the Caribbean right now. There's a wealth transfer that is happening in the world right now. And you have the privilege to be a part of that. Okay, you have the God-given privilege to be a part of a movement that's going to change millions, even more than 5,000 families, okay? Because this is just a pit stop. So I want you guys to take this thing seriously because, right? Because it is serious. So without further ado, all right, I see them coming in. Okay, awesome. See them coming in. So what's going to happen is that I'm going to be introducing a young man. We just talked about him, right? He wrote this book that's going to be changing lives. He's been doing a phenomenal job in terms of leading us. Guys, if you've ever heard from the Chairman 100, the Chairman 500, the Chairman 25, the Chairman 50s in our organization, you know, what they say is just a repeat of what this young man always tells us. Okay? So I want you guys to understand that. And I want everybody to take out their books, their pens, their pencils, whatever you're taking notes on. And I want you guys to pay keen attention to what he's about to talk about, because every word that comes out of his mouth is about helping you guys to go to the next level. So without further ado, Mr. Akeem Bourne, are you on the line?
Hey, Deborah, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Awesome. Okay, well, firstly, man, let me just give it back to both you and Ron for hosting the call, man, and going through, you know, the books and everything that we need to really be successful in this industry. Because every single Tuesday when I come on this call, you know, I'm reminded of what's required to help us get success in this business. And it's interesting because I know there are people on the line that are hearing me for the first time. There are people that are hearing you for the first time. There are people that are hearing Ron for the first time. And I want to tell you guys this, that all that you would have heard so far at the beginning of this call as relates to getting the books, as it relates to getting the information that you need to help you get successful, especially in the industry of network marketing, because that's what this call is about. This call is not a trading call. If you're on the line for the first time, this is your first Takeover Transformation Tuesday call, I want to bring some perspective. The purpose of this call is to equip you with the skills and the mindset to be successful in network marketing. You would have joined iMarkets Live, I want to believe that, and you would have made a decision to free yourself and your family through using the power of Forex. But unfortunately, or not unfortunately, but let me say fortunately for you, this call is not about trading, it's about building. It's about the optional component where you have a chance to earn passive residual income by developing skills. And that's what I want to talk about tonight. I know some of you guys who have been following us, who have been, plugging in to all that we would have been doing these last couple of months. You know that we've been talking about the 7 skills that you need to be successful. The 7 skills that you need to master in order to be successful in network marketing. And tonight we want to talk about that. Tonight we want to, just go through quickly what those skills are, and then we want to focus on a specific skill that I know, in my opinion, is one of the most important skills, because without this particular skill, you can't get people closed. So before we get into the meat of the training, what I want to do is ask you guys a question. For those of you that have been plugging in over these last couple of months, you know that we're going through the skills that are required for you to have success in the industry of network marketing. Can somebody please put in the chat what those skills are? And just really quickly, Stefan Jackman, you're forbidden from placing these skills in the chat, because 2 weeks in a row, you were the person that put the skills in the chat. Gavin, you're forbidden. Deborah, you're forbidden. Leah, you're forbidden. Ron, you're forbidden. You guys can't put the skills in the chat. We want somebody else that has been, Danis, you're also forbidden. We want somebody that has been plugging in over these last couple of months, because it's, guys, I want to say this while we wait for it to come into the chat, right? It's so easy to just come on these calls and just get, a little gas up, a little juice to give you some motivation for the week. But I'm gonna tell you this: if you just come on these calls with the mindset that we're gonna gas you up, we're going to, we're gonna just give you the pump for this next 45 minutes, and then after the call ends, you go back to just regular scheduled programming, then your life is not going to change, because you're not using the opportunity in a manner that's beneficial to you, right? And we don't want that for you. We want you to put yourself in a position to implement what you're learning on these calls. Okay, so I see some coming in. But what's interesting is that people are putting in, nobody has listed them all together, right? Some people have said 1, some people have said 2, some people have said 1, some people have said 2. I want somebody to tell me all 7 skills. And this is very important. You know why? Because if you don't know what these skills are, then it's going to be hard for you to develop these skills to have success. Now, I see one person just put all of these skills in there. And I want you guys to please write these down, because if you plan to make 6 figures and above in this industry, you have got to master these skills. You've got to take the time out to learn what these skills are and allocate time to developing them. And that's what I want to talk about here really quickly, and then we're going to focus on one particular skill. But look at what Duane said. I'm really proud of Duane Boxell. Okay, good. And Ophelia put it in as well. It's prospecting, inviting, presenting, following up, getting people started, and promoting events. And this is key, because these skills, they're mentioned in the book GoPro. The book written by Eric Worre, that Deborah would have mentioned at the beginning when she went through the books, he mentioned these skills. And your ability to develop these skills will determine the caliber of success you're going to have in the business. And tonight, we want to focus on a particular skill, because we would have went through probably about 2 or 3 of them already. And tonight, we want to focus on following up, right? And as I was preparing the training, I was really just thinking about, the mindset that comes with having success in this industry. Because I know people love to come on calls and get motivated and get nuggets and get quotes and get stuff that they can repost. But if you look closely, it's the individuals that have the skills that are the ones that are getting the success, right? And I want you guys to write this down. Mindset is what keeps you in the business, but it's the skill set that grows your business. And if you really want to be successful, you have to have the skills. Dare I say that success in this industry is 80% skill, 20% mindset. Because we have a lot of individuals that get involved in the industry. You know, everyone today is a motivation, personal development junkie. You know, everyone is on YouTube listening to positive stuff. You know, they're always, you know, looking for something to give them that motivation high. But if you look closely, it's the small percentage that actually know what the skills are, and it's the small percentage that are actually implementing and using those skills. And I really want you guys to follow me and write this down, because it's these skills that pay you. The skills pay the bills. Write that down as well. Because when my mentor said to me, Akeem, I know that you like personal development, but you need to love developing the skills. I know many of us on this line, we love the personal development. We love to read. We love to hear E.T. We love to hear Les Brown, Eric Worre. You know, we're on the 7-figure mentorship call, you know, every single Sunday to get the pump. But when it comes to the skills, we are not as excited as we should be, because the skills require the work. It doesn't take anything out of us to hear a motivational talk and feel good about ourselves and feel like we can take over the world. But it takes something out of us to implement the skills. And I'm telling you, this is why only 3% of the network marketing space, they have success. And you know what that means? That 3 out of every 100 individuals will ever be successful in network marketing. And dear I tell you, it's because only 3% take the time to learn the skills. And that's why we created this call. Because Kai and myself, we understood that success in entrepreneurship, not just even network marketing, is hugely dependent on your ability to develop your mindset and your skill set. They must go hand in hand. They must go hand in hand. We teach you how to think, and we teach you how to act and function as an entrepreneur. But in this particular area, as it relates to network marketing, if your mindset is so great, but your skill set is poor, remember this: you will never have success, because it's the skills that pay the bills. So tonight we're going to be focusing on following up. And this, in my opinion, is the $1 million skill. Because if you look closely, the individuals that know how to expose, they know how to follow up, that automatically leads to developing the skill of closure, which allows you to get people started so you can build a residual income. Or to build a team, right? And I want you guys to write this down. At the beginning of your well, after all that we would have said, the training as it relates to the to following up, this is what I want you to write down. The fortune is in the follow-up. That's important to know. You're going to make your most money in this industry when you master the skill of following up. I mean, when you master all these skills, I should say. But this skill here, following up, is crucial. This is why. Because most people, they don't get started on their first exposure. How many of you guys on this line, Kai does a great job at bringing this perspective. How many of you guys on this line got started on your first exposure? When you first heard about a Markets Live, you signed up immediately. Danny said it, which is true. Mario said it. I guess Kai can confirm that, which is true. Gio, have no idea who that person is, but that person says they did. Tony says they did. This is what I will say. You guys are rare, and you're a part of the small percentage, because the average individual, they don't. It takes on average 2 to 3 exposures before somebody says, bam, I want to get started, or bam, I'm confident enough in myself now to get started. So if you don't understand that, and if you aren't taking the time out to expose again and again and again until, guess what? That person ends up falling through the cracks, or they end up signing up with someone else, you know, and that we don't want that. We don't want that an individual that you would have exposed the first time, but because you didn't follow up with them, they go and sign up with someone else, or they never get started. So you need to understand that. And that's why I started off by saying the fortune is in the follow-up. Because if you capture this as your mindset, and I want you guys to follow me on this part, this needs to become a way of thinking. Because if it's a way of thinking, it's going to affect your activity. When it gets on the inside of you, it's going to affect your activity. And we're going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about what effective following up looks like and how to do it in a manner that leads to closure, right? And I think I have 5 points here. So I want you guys to take notes and continue with me on this journey tonight. So I see another person said they did too. And I want to commend you guys because you guys are rare. Right? Those individuals that got started on the first exposure, if you don't quit, there's a high chance that you will go on to, have success in this business. One, because you recognize the opportunity, and I want to show you guys this, right? You recognize the opportunity to take action and get started. And then two, you had the funds available to get started. It's a different mentality there. And there's nothing wrong with not having the funds, but I'm gonna tell you, if you have the funds and you make the decision to get started immediately, it's a different psychology and a different mental space to somebody that also has the funds but doesn't get started immediately. And we're going to talk about that tonight, and just to help with how you can effectively follow up, right? So this is the first point, because this is what I know, right? Like I would have said, it takes on average 2 to 3 exposures. So imagine, let's go through this together. You invited someone on the call, right? Or you invited them to a presentation in your country or at convention, something. They got their first exposure. And the individual, you're following the PS3 system, you expose them, you pique their interest, to share the opportunity with them, and you set them up for the 3-way close. And that first exposure passes, and they give your mentor, they give you a date to follow up with, and we're going to talk about that, booking a meeting from a meeting, but they give you a date to follow up, and you follow up the second time. There's something that needs to happen in your mind before you follow up the second time. There has to be a mental shift, because I tell people this all the time. The way that you go about building your business, how you talk to people, how you even follow up, how you expose the opportunity is a reflection of what's happening in your mind. And this is what I want to say. After the first exposure, or even before, I should say that, but we're talking about following up. So I'm bringing perspective in terms of the exposure. The posture that you have has to reflect a certain type of individual. Let's talk about that. This is the first point. Have the right posture. Let me ask you guys this question. What does that posture look like? Imagine this. Brought the example. You're following up with your prospect. The second time you expose them, the first time they said they don't have the funds to get started now, and they tell you they want to get started a week from now. What does your posture look like? Anybody on the line that has followed up with somebody before, how do you go about creating this conversation to follow up the second time? What does your posture look like? Anybody can reply. Because how you go about doing this is a reflection of what's going on in your mind. So anybody, and please don't all speak at once. Okay, so Kyla says confident with a question mark. Are you, is that a confident response, Kyla? Are you confident in your confident response? Somebody else? Kyla's correct. Anybody else? What does the posture look like? Kyla said confident. Waiting for somebody else. Positive. Correct. You got to be confident. You got to be positive. What else? What posture do you need to have? You got to be calm. You got to be controlled. Kwame says, I really don't know. All right, Kwame, well, make sure you're taking notes, because everything that everyone is saying here is correct. I'm just looking for a particular thing. Okay, so somebody said, I was told I am too casual. It needs to be more exciting and confidence about my product. Kurt says, expecting them to get started when they said they would. A winning one, a motivating empathy. People are drawn to those who understand them. Relax, let them see that it's okay. I'm looking for something. One of the leaders. All of you guys are correct. This is the correct posture, but I'm looking for something. One of the leaders. There we go, Stefan. No desperation, or more so, don't be needy. All right? This is what you need to have. And this is the mindset. You got to understand that you have the golden egg right now. All right? You have access to information that most people, Jimmy, you're also right, but we're going to talk about that coming on closer to the end, right? But what Stefan said is what I was looking for. You don't be needy, don't be desperate, right? Don't be anxious, because that comes out in the way that you communicate and it repels individuals. So what I was saying is that, Alan said I was thinking the cookie. What? I don't even understand what you mean, bro. But anyhow, this is what I'm saying. The posture has to be not like Stefan said, not desperate, not anxious, because that type of attitude, it comes out and you come over as desperate. For example, when I tell individuals all the time, I can tell when someone is motivated just by the money or if they truly want to get people started. If they truly want to help people change their life by getting started. For example, if you get frustrated, follow me here. If you get frustrated after the first exposure and the person says, I don't have the money right now, I need to follow up with me after payday, and you get emotional about that, that shows that somebody said it in the chat, you don't have empathy to that person's situation and you're just motivated by the money. Because the reality is not everyone has the money to get started. And if you allow that, and I'm getting ahead of myself for the training, but if you allow that to dictate the way that you behave, the next exposure, that's going to leak out. So like Stefan said, the posture that you need to have is one that is not desperate. It needs to be calm. Like all of you guys said the right thing. It needs to be calm. It needs to be positive. It needs to be controlled. You need to have empathy. You need to understand that unless you have confidence, not just in yourself, but confidence in the product, it's going to leak out and it's going to repel the individual from you. How do you think people are more so? Let me ask a question. How many of you guys, leaders, can respond as well? You ever heard somebody said, that they just wanted to, sign me up? I can tell that they just wanted to sign me up. And I talk about this in my ebook, and just to make it clear, guys, the book is free. You can download it from my website, akimborn.com. Scroll all the way down to the bottom and just register. It's there. In the first chapter, I talk about this. My first time being in the industry, I was doing it the wrong way. And I was purely motivated by the money. I didn't care about helping people because I was so desperate. I needed to help myself. And it was leaking out. And people can tell that all I wanted to do was just sign them up so I can help myself. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. That if that is the attitude and posture that you're carrying, then it's going to leak out and push people away. And then guess what? The next time you go to follow up again, you're not going to get the response that you're looking for, or the more so the response that you want. Again, that leads to closure. So that's the first point. Here's the second point, right? You want to stay in control of the conversation. So again, let's bring perspective. I like to ask questions along the way. So let's just say after you would have, follow up with the individual, you set the exposure for the, after the first exposure, and you decide to follow up. Let me just see what these guys are saying. Right? Good. So you decide to follow up, right? After the three-way now is set up, etc., the person says, we're going to follow up. They want you to follow up with them on the 15th, right? Payday. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. They didn't give you a date. Oh my goodness, forgive me. They didn't give you a date. In the conversation, you asked them, when should you follow up with them? And they didn't give you a date. What should you do in that moment? How do you stay in control? I just gave the answer really, but let's see who's paying attention. What do you do? Because this will happen. There will be people that in your following up process, they're not going to, lock you into a particular time. You need to do that. So what do you do? What do you do in that scenario, in that situation? Okay, so Stefan says, okay, I will follow up with you in about a month. Do you always start with in about a month? Like, let's just say you ask the person when to follow up, and the person says, They don't know. They're going to let you know. What do? Tell them when you follow up with them. Okay. Okay, that's correct. Anybody else has a different perspective? Like, what do you do in that moment? How do you stay in control? Like, I mean, Stefan gave the answer, but I want to hear another perspective. How do you stay in control? You set a date. Exactly. You lock them into a date. You set a date. Now listen to this. I want you guys to write this down. And this is underneath number 2, how you stay in control and you set a time. It's called BAM FAM. This is where you book a meeting from a meeting. Write that down. That's what BAM FAM stands for. Book a meeting from a meeting. That's what you got to do. Because if not, people will fall through the cracks. Look at what Kirk says. Tell them you don't want them to slip through the cracks or forget. So how we set a date, we can show you, forget. So how about we set a date? How about we follow up on a particular date? Yeah, major typo there, bro. Had me there wondering if I need to put on my glasses, right? But that's fine. I follow you and I understand what you said. But BAM FAM, you want to book a meeting from a meeting, guys, because that allows you to stay in control. That allows you to stay in control and gives you the option, or not so the option, gives you the opportunity when that time comes to follow up. Now, good. Now, at this point, guys, this is where a lot of people fall down. They would have booked the meeting from the meeting. So they tell the person, all right, like Stefan said, I'm going to follow up with you in a month, or I'm going to follow up with you next week, or I'm going to follow up with you in 24 hours. After you tell that person that, you need to make sure that you put the reminder in your book or the reminder in your phone to actually follow up with that individual. Because here's the truth. That person probably is not going to follow up with you. Unless that person really wants to get started, that person is not going to follow up with you. So let me ask you a question, some of the leaders on the line, just to make it interactive and so that people can see how different leaders do different things. How do you guys log and schedule your follow-up? Do you put it in your phone? Do you put it in your book? What do? Do you keep all your WhatsApp messages? You go through once a night. What is your strategy like? Okay, so one leader, Tammy, she's a platinum 1000. She says she puts reminders in her phone. Stefan says the phone calendar and keeps WhatsApp open. That's exactly what I do as well. In my phone calendar, post-it notes and calendar. Calendar. And these are options, guys, that you can use. Rudy says on WhatsApp. No, this is what I'm going to say, right? Because unless you are disciplined, and this is a part of the skills, unless you are disciplined enough to log the follow-up, then please note that you're not going to be disciplined enough to actually follow up with the person. If you can't take the time out to schedule the follow-up in your phone, on a physical calendar, in your book, then you're probably not going to follow up with them because you didn't take the time out to log it and schedule it. And I want to tell you this. If your goal is to go, dare I say, platinum 2000 and above, then scheduling and management and more so just organization will start to be tested, I should say, because as your group, and I spoke about this either last week or week before, as your group begins to grow, the more organized you are, the better it is for an environment of growth to happen. Because then let me show you what I do to give you guys insight into how a chairman does. Right? I do 3 things. I put a reminder in my phone, especially if this person is a high caliber leader and I need to get them on board. Just to be even honest with you, this person is just to bring an example, Danny's Hines, right? When I met with her in my office, I went for the close one time because I knew that when she got involved in this opportunity, she was going to kill it. So said, so done. I did not want to give her a chance to fall through the cracks by me forgetting, by her changing her mind. So again, as a leader, and I talk about this in my ebook as well, you want to be able to identify leaders or see the potential in someone and make the right decision based on how you go about following up or if you should close immediately. But we're going to talk about that at the end. But this is what I do. Like I said, schedule in my phone, in my calendar on my phone. I leave my WhatsApp chat open. Every single night, I scroll all the way down just before I go to sleep. I scroll all the way down to my WhatsApp and I go through each message that I have so I can see where the conversation is at. We're going to talk about that coming on to the end, right? Because that's one of the ways to that people fall through the cracks, because the conversation gets to a point that is like a lull. You know, like one of those moments where you don't know what to say, or you don't know, the person didn't reply to you. And we're going to talk about that at the end, right? But I do that. I go through my chats. I scroll all the way down to the end. And then every single Wednesday, and this is where the organization comes in. Tomorrow is Wednesday. I'm going to be at the store all day tomorrow. I have time allocated to connect with my leaders and to go through my phone and follow up with individuals that need to be closed. That is scheduled in my activity, my weekly activity, because I follow up once a week. Because obviously you're recruiting, you're talking to so many people, you can do it differently where you can follow it every single day, but I allocate time on Wednesdays to following up. So that's just an insight into how I do stuff, and you can do it that way if you want to, right? But it's so important to know that once you have it scheduled, once you have it logged, there's a high chance that you're going to then follow through with it, because when the alarm goes off, you're like, oh yeah, I need to connect with this individual. And it's a simple message, it's a simple call, so that you can close. So that's number 2. So here's number 3 now, right? This is number 3 point. And this is a big one, because this is where a lot of people get in their emotions. This is where, rejection, gets people wanting to quit the company, etc. Please write this down. Some people are not going to keep their word. And I know that might sound straightforward, but I think everybody that gets involved in the industry, it's sometimes a shocker. Some people are not going to keep their word when you follow up with them. So let's answer the question again, because I'm trying to make this interactive. How do we deal with that? You set the appointment. You're going through the steps. You bam, fam, you book a meeting. From the meeting, the person says, follow up with me on Saturday. Saturday comes. You're calling them. You're messaging them. They're not answering the phone. They're reading your messages and leaving you on scene, not replying. How do you deal with that? And this is crucial. If you can master this particular skill right here, then it's going to really work in your favor. How do you deal with that? Individuals that, don't keep their word. What do you do? Leaders don't reply as yet. Give someone else a chance. But what do you do for someone that's on the line? Okay, so okay. Oh, that's okay. That's a whole nother curveball there. Somebody says, are they replying? Say I got started with someone else. We can talk about that as well. But let's answer the questions first. Okay. All right. So Tammy says, I've seen you've read and haven't responded. Should I take it you're no longer interested in the opportunity? Okay. Okay. So Kwame says, give them space. Okay, let's talk about that. So, Kwame, when you say give them space, what does that mean? Just walk it through practically. I made a commitment to you. I said I'm going to follow up. I'm going to get started on Saturday. You call me on Saturday, and I just or more so you message me on WhatsApp. Say, hey, Akeem, let's get you started. Today's the day that you're going to get started. Let's get you started. Okay, and I say nothing. I read it. You call me. I don't answer. All right. Good. So Kwame says they could be really busy, could be a bad time. Perfect. Anybody else? What would you do? Look at what Mario said. I've noticed you haven't responded to my last message. Is everything okay? Good. So that's what I have for you. That's what I want to talk about, right? Before you go into what Tammy said, there's something that you need to do, right? Look at what Mario said. Never assume, because again, we need to be positive, right? Positivity says that you're giving the person the benefit of the doubt. The benefit of the doubt is that this person, something happened in their family, because again, life happens, something happened in their family. Like Kwame said, this person could be really busy. Something may have happened that allowed them that cause them to not be able to respond to you. That's your mind has to go there first. Don't automatically think the person is wasting your time. They may be, but there's another way to find that out. You don't want to go there first. You don't want to go there firstly. So look at what Mario said. I've noticed you haven't responded to my last message. Is everything okay? That's what you want to see. You want to say something along those lines. You want to show that you care about that individual. That it's not just about money for you. Because you know what can happen? I've seen this happen before, multiple times actually. The person says, I had a death in my family and I was mourning, or something happened that allowed me to not be able to respond. Something happened with my phone, etc., etc. Don't automatically assume that the person is wasting your time, right? Look at what Stefan said. He had that the other day. So please write this down. When you realize that this may be happening, that the person has not kept their word, the first step is to, one, don't take it personal, but two, don't assume that they're wasting your time. Give them the benefit of the doubt. So good. To give them the benefit of the doubt, I'm going to bring two scenarios. The first scenario is you say what Mario said, and they say, yes, something is wrong. I had a situation in my family. What do you do in that moment? Anyone can reply. They say, that, yeah, I know I said I was going to get started on Saturday, but I had to use the money. An emergency came up and I had to spend it on my laptop, or I got in an accident and I had to spend it. What do you do? Ding, ding, ding. Exactly what Alan said. You show empathy. You show empathy. Now, catch this. The person could be lying. I'm telling you. I got this guy from St. Kitts who has been giving me the runaround since last year. Shout out to all my leaders from St. Kitts, though. No shots at anyone or anything. But I'm just telling you, this guy has been giving me the runaround for about last year, September. No, probably like October. And I'm just being patient with him. Every time I hit it, it's an excuse, but he has leadership potential. So I'm buying into him, right? Giving him time. But like everyone said, it's true. You need to show empathy. You need to be supportive and understanding. So good. So after you show empathy, you show that person that you are not just about making money and setting up, etc., setting them up. What do you say after that? Look at what Stefan said. I hope everything works out. When can we reschedule? So see what's happening there. Back to the point before this. You're booking a meeting from a meeting again. Because I think it was Kwame that says, based on the nature of the scenario, then you as a leader need to be aware of what you need to say. Because if the person has someone in their family that passed away, you need to give them space. You need to give them space. So you need to tell them, okay, my condolences, I completely understand. And this is where the empathy really shines through, because you will see, if you are truly empathetic, you will say what needs to be said. And then after you make the empathetic remark, then you need to book a meeting from a meeting. Look at what Stefan said. So when can we reschedule? Because again, please write this down. The purpose of an exposure or the purpose of a follow-up should always be for closure. Exposure should always lead to closure. Please write that down. And if you have not gotten a chance to close, then again, you're bam-famming. You're booking a meeting from the meeting. So that's the first scenario. The person says that something was wrong, you're empathetic, and then you bam-fam. Here's the next scenario. The person read your message and didn't reply again. What do we do in that scenario? Because this is real. The person reads your message again and they leave you on scene. You said, hey man, is everything okay? I know we were supposed to connect on Saturday, but I haven't heard you. Is everything okay? The person reads and leaves you on scene. So the person reads it immediately and leaves you on scene. Well, people don't care how much you know, only know how much you care. That's correct. Okay, good. So what Tommy said, perfect. And I agree. Normally, right? Like what Stefan said, I do that after the second. I give you the benefit of the doubt the first time, and then the second time when you leave me on scene, I go straight into the script. Now, please write down this script, because this script has never failed me yet. And leaders started using it, and guess what? It has never failed them. And if you follow this script, I'm telling you, it's going to get people to respond, especially if they're serious. So this is what the script says. Look at what Tommy said. Let's scroll back up. I've seen you've read and haven't responded. Should I take it you're no longer interested in the opportunity? And is this not for you? Now, let me just word it a little differently. This is what I say. You've read but haven't replied. Should I take it you're no longer interested and this opportunity is not for you? That's what I always say. Works every time like a charm. Telling you. Especially that last part, because the last part is really the what do you call it? Not the operative word. Not the call to action. I can't remember exactly what you call that last part, but that last part, you see where it says, shouldn't have been playing interested. Is it something you're not interested and this opportunity is not for you? Okay, let me repeat it. So this is what it is. You've read but haven't replied. Or let's just say you were calling them and they haven't been answering your calls, right? So you tailor the script to the relevant scenario. But let's just say you were messaging them and they said, you've read but you've read but haven't replied. Should I take it that you're no longer interested and this opportunity is not for you? You see that last part right there? And this opportunity is not for you. That gets them, every single time. And they reply. And guys, I want to tell you this. At this point, because the skills that we're really giving you, you could use them anywhere. You could use them anywhere in life. So Alan, do you have it? Is it clear? You've read but haven't replied, or I've called you and you haven't answered. Should I take it that you're no longer interested and this opportunity is not for you? Ron is calling a pain point. Yes, that's basically what I mean, but there's that particular phrase is called something. It's slipping my mind right now. But guys, you want to have that script in your arsenal, because I am telling you, as you really take the time out to recruit, because this is for people that are really serious about engaging in the activity. What we know, and I mentioned it at the beginning, that only 3% of individuals get success in network marketing. And it's because only 3% do what's required, right? It's only 3%, takes time to develop the skills. So that lets me know that, 3 out of every 100 is going to think. Okay, so I'm just reading the comments. It said, if it's extreme situations like death, can we... Okay. Okay. So can we empathize and then personally put a date in calendar as a reminder to connect again? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what you want to do. You want to empathize, like you said, and then you want to follow up. Let me just get my charger here. You want to follow up. Let them set the date this time though, because again, it's a sensitive time. So you want to let them set the time where you can follow up. All right, so you can tell them, sorry, just reading in the comments. She's like, death, can we empathize and in person put a date in calendar? Yes, you want to let them, you want to let them set the date for you. And you put it in your phone to follow up. So yeah. So good. So let me see who's been paying attention so far. What are the 3 points so far that we would have went through? Before I go to the fourth and last point. Let's see who's been paying attention. What are the 3 points that we listed so far? What's the first thing that you do? What type of posture do you need to have? Right, so you need to have the right posture, don't be desperate. What's point 2? What's point 2? That's right, you want to stay in control and book a meeting from the meeting. It's bam, fam. What's number 3? That's number 3. We just went through number 3. All right. Don't assume. Understand that some people are not going to keep their word, and you don't want to take it personal. You know, you want to put yourself in a position to empathize, you know, that understand that life happens and everyone is not going to, you know, be able to get started immediately. So awesome. So good. So here's the next thing now, right? Next key, more so number 4, right? Scenario again. There are some people, or more so, let me bring the scenario and then break it down. You expose the person, and on Saturday it comes. You tell them, you know, you're gonna follow up with them on Saturday. Saturday comes, and when you go to follow up with them, and they reply, they tell you, man, I'm having second thoughts. You know, they're not sure. Anybody ever had somebody like that? If Gavin was on the line, let's see if Gavin is here. Let's see. All right, Gavin, I know we were talking about that a while back. You know, somebody was saying that they were on the farm, but they're nervous. What did they tell me? They said they're having second thoughts. They're wondering if this thing will work for them. You know, like leaders. Okay, so I see Stefan said it happened to him, Rochelle. So how did you guys deal with that? What did you do? Right, this person is on the fence. You have a person, you've been following up with this person, and they're on the fence. They just can't seem to commit to make the decision. What do you do? All right. Okay, so Stefan said, ask what they're uncomfortable with. Yes, that's correct, but that's close to what I'm looking for. What? Let me hear from another leader. Feel, felt, phone. Pretty similar to what Stefan is saying. Another leader. What do you do when you have someone on the fence? Right. All right. Feel, felt, phone. That's what Gavin says. And another person. Denise or anybody on the line, as a matter of fact, what do you do? Okay, so Rochelle says I tap into their why for how this can change your lives. Find out why they're on the fence. Okay. I'm looking for something in particular. I tell stories and reassure. Now, what Deborah said, the last part is what I was really looking for. Because on the fence, let me just see what Kevin said. Just so you know, you're here to offer support and they're not alone in it as a team, right? So that's all part of what I'm gonna say in terms of reassurance and validation. So number 4 is if the person is on the fence, you wanna provide validation for them. You wanna provide reassurance. That's what I was looking for from Deborah. Because on the fence means, because all you guys are correct, but it was just I was looking for something in particular. On the fence means that the individual is uncertain about something. They're uncomfortable about something. There's fear somewhere. There's something that's stopping them from making the commitment to pressing pay now. And you need to find out what that is. You need to find out what that fear is. And guess what? You need to quiet it. You need to create comfort. You need to validate them. You need to reassure them. And this is what that looks like. And I'm going to tell you, this will happen to some people who lack self-confidence, who lack, just the ability to make a grand decision, especially if they feel as though it's a lot of money that they're spending. People will be timid. So you want to provide that reassurance and validation by letting them know, hey, listen, this really feel, felt, phone comes in. You know, I understand why you would be timid, or I understand why you would be on the fence. Because a period of my life, I felt that way as well. But this is what I've found, and this is where all the answers tie in. We have a great support system here. People are getting success here. You know, you can automatically assume not assume, but speak to what the common fears are that stop people from getting started. Or I love what someone said, you can ask them. Somebody said, ask them. I think it was Alan that said, ask them what's stopping them. Find out why they're on the fence. Exactly. Ask them straight. You know, what's stopping you from getting started? Why are you having an issue with committing and making this decision? And then you let them know, whatever they say, you know, man, I don't know if this is going to work for me. You know, this is a lot of money for me, man. And I had a girl that signed up she's from Jamaica, I think, but studying in St. Lucia. And she was like, listen, I need this thing to work for me. I'm taking a risk. And I told her, listen, I need it to work for you as well. You know, I said that I need it to work for you as well. And because of the group success that we have, because of the individuals that have taken the time out to learn, because again, I'm pointing towards the products and her being the individual that's going to get success in this business, just transferring confidence and belief and making her feel confident in herself and the decision that she made, she got started. Because she was just like that, double-minded, and she was like, I don't know if this is going to work, and all that kind of uncertainty. You want to create certainty and validate them. You want to provide confidence. And another way to do that is to set up a three-way, and this is what I normally do, right? Actually, I'm doing this with Maya now. This is the example. I got a girl who's studying at med school, and she's on the fence. I'm trying to get her closed before I set up the three-way with Maya. And this is a tip for the leaders on the line. You don't always have to do a three-way with someone who's an upline. You can do a three-way with a sideline. Remember, the purpose of the third-party validation is to bring validation. It's to make the person feel comfortable. It's to make the person feel connected. Hey, this person is doing it. Guess what? I can do it too. When you think of, I talk about Nikki, who's a nurse and killing this business. Talk about Danny's, who's an entrepreneur. Talk about Maya, who's a med student, killing it. So I do three ways as well, sideline. It doesn't always have to be someone upline or downline, right? Sideline as well can work, right? So I'm saying all that to say that you can set up a three-way as well to bring validation. This is crucial because as a leader, as a mentor, as a coach, you want that person to have confidence in you to quiet their fears. Follow me. This is leadership talk here. It's leadership talk. You want them, and if you can do it at the beginning, then that person will feel comfortable with you. And you don't always have the opportunity. You find out the fears that people have sometimes after they get started and as time progresses and you talk to them. But if you can do it at the beginning and you can give them advice and speak to them in a manner that allows for them to feel confident, then guess what? When they lost a trade or when they're feeling, to quit, they're going to talk to you and say, man, I don't think this thing is working out, et cetera. Like real life example. As you guys know, we're launching right now. Dennis and myself, we did the launch code training last week, and all the leaders and people who are serious are following that training. And every person that they enroll are going through the process of launching. And I had a young leader, I signed up, and I told her, let's do a launch, and what ended up happening is that she changed her mind. She said, that the people that she speaks to in her environment, she don't think they will be interested, etc. And I told her, well, you got two options, because in the getting started document, she made it clear that she's not going to be able to pay her subscription. So this is what I did. I challenged her, right? Letting her know, well, we got to do something, because if you don't, then guess what? You're going to go inactive. You're going to lose access to the products, and you're going to be back at square one, and your money's going to be dead. If you don't make money this first month, either from you going to and free or you trading, but guess what? She's still going through the information. So I'm saying all that to say that I had to speak to her in a manner to instill confidence in herself to send me the list, even if she's not the one that's invited them to the call. And this is for the leaders on the line, because there will be people that will tell you, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that, or they may back out. You need to be able to communicate to them in a manner. And myself, we were talking about this. Your ability to communicate in that moment that produces action in people in your team, in your group, that's also a skill. And that's why it's so important as a leader that we spend the right time talking to the right people and making sure that we're not wasting time with the wrong people, because there's some people that you will waste time with and they end up quitting the business. And I mean, you don't know until they actually do it, because no one signs up and says, I'm going to quit in 30 days. Anybody ever had someone tell them that? Hey, Stefan, I want to get started with you, but I'm going to quit in 6 months. Please write this down. Everyone has a quitting clock. Please write that down. Everyone has a quitting clock. Just some people's quitting clock never starts. And some people, the moment that they get involved, it starts ticking. And you need to know, I have a quitting clock, but it has never started, because the moment that I got involved in the industry of network marketing, I made a decision that I will never quit. And I'm going to make 6 figures, done that. My goal now is to make 7 figures, right? And that's the goal. I made a decision that I was never going to quit. I was never going to give up. To then do what? To go back and you know, and not have access to residual income, to be on the wrong side of money, like Robert Kiyosaki said, trading my time for money. So yeah, so that's what you want to do. You want to validate them. And here's the last point, right? You want to, and I already mentioned it at the beginning as a topic, but I'm going to say it again. Exposures lead to closure. So basically what that means is, this is the last point. Basically what that means is that the more you expose, the higher the chances of the person being closed. Because again, we said at the beginning, on average, it takes at least 2 to 3 exposures. So you want to follow up until, please write this down. I will follow up until when? Let me hear what your response is to that. If I tell you that as a leader, your goal is to follow up until, and you ask me until when, what's the response? Until when? Alan says until they sign up or until you get blocked. Exactly. It's the 2 things I have here. You're going to follow up until you realize they're wasting your time or until they get started. That's what you want to do. You're right. Until you realize that you don't, you can no longer speak to them, they blocked you, or you know, they're wasting your time, or they get started. And this is key. This is key. I'm telling you, once you are able to do this, and that's why you see the leaders walking around with these big books with thousands of names in it, because we know that that person's no, or that person not starting as yet, means that there's still a chance that they can eventually get involved. Please write this down. People's situations change every 90 days. Or Tammy says, or I block them. Absolutely. I mean, it's different for females. Well, well, every now and then a guy would have to block someone as well. But more so the females, you know, they have to block people who are just inappropriate. But write it down. People's situations change every 90 days. Every 90 days. Got someone, and some of the leaders on the link can attest to this, that we exposed in our first year in the industry. I mean, not in the industry, in joining iMarkets Live, and they only got started this year, 17 months in. 17 months in. And imagine if I didn't follow up with them, or more so, and please write this down. Yes, the fortune is in the follow-up. That's what I said at the beginning, but I want you guys to also write this down. If you go out there and make a fortune, watch everyone follow up with you. Please write that down. Go out there and make a fortune and watch everyone follow up with you. Because people need to see you winning. People need to see that this thing is working for you. This is why I mentioned it on the, I think it was the presentation training that I did. We cannot look like our problems. We have to make sure that on our journey, whether you're marketing online or you're doing more market, cool market in person, you gotta look like if this thing is working for you. And somebody may say, Akin, so what if I don't have the money, right? I'm gonna tell you this, right? Why do you think that it takes money to look as though you're winning? Somebody may say, because then I need to spend money to do photo shoots. I need to spend money, you know, to get my makeup done and my nails done and to buy a suit and all that kind of jazz. That's not true. And I know somebody may not agree with this, but this is what I'm gonna say. You can borrow stuff from people. Again, this is hurting somebody's pride here. It's hurting somebody's pride. If I know that Kai has a blazer or Kai has a suit that will fit me and I can't afford to buy a suit, bro, let me borrow that suit and take a couple pictures. I promise I'm not going to sweat that hard in it. You know, if I do, then dry cleaning is on you. I promise I'm gonna not sweat that hard. But leverage, look at exactly, Ron. That's the right word, because that sounds better than borrowing something from your friend. But this is how you shape the perception that people have of you, and you look different online. Look at what Kirk said. I can Photoshop the color too. See what I mean? We got resources in our group. We got resourceful people in our group. You get some photos, then you get Kurt to change the color of the suit. Oh my goodness. Look, somebody's saying I'm coming for Gucci. We'll borrow it for a few years. No problem. No problem. We'll work out some type of agreement because I'm I'm looking to get something new anyway too. So that's no problem. Leverage me. Leverage Kai. That MCM bag that Kai got, that cognate color, borrow it. Nobody gonna know. And I mean, like, again, I know this is hurting somebody's ego. I know this is hurting somebody's pride. But I'm telling you, you need to begin to look as though things are changing for you. I remember when, like, I used to be real transparent with you, back in the day, I was borrowing blazers from people until I got to a point where I could buy my own blazers. And you may not want to do that, but look at what Deborah said. Where there's a will, there's a way. So there's the question. Here's the challenge. What's your will like? How bad do you really want this thing? Because only you and the person going to know that you borrowed it from them. And we're not the type of individuals that are going to say, I had a lifestyle, I found my Gucci shoes, or, we're not shallow. You don't know, and again, as you progress, you realize certain things about leaders in the industry as well. Everything is not always what it seems. Yeah, look at this. I had a lady who wanted to wear my Movado. I let her wear it. That says a lot. Absolutely. Borrow watches and take photo shoots in them. No one knows that the watch is not your watch. So I'm saying all that to say that you want to get creative. Don't limit yourself in your following up process, because I'm telling you, when that person sees, let's talk about Ashira, really proud of Ashira. She just dropped some bomb photos, right? She is leveling up significantly. And I'm telling you guys, people are going to reach out to her because the branding is starting to change. She's starting to look different online. She's starting to look as though, hey, this thing is working for her. And I'm going to tell you this, you may not know, but this thing is definitely working for her. So I'm saying all that to say, you want to put yourself in a position. You may not have the money to get a professional photo shoot. Ron has a camera. Ron, don't you have a camera, bro? Borrow Ron's camera. And we got Justin, who's our media guy. He can take photography for you. We were in Las Vegas. He's more so a videographer, but he also does what do you call it? Photography. And I got him to take photos for me because I understood, and I mentioned this on the call before, and this is for the leaders on the line. You want to make sure that every 90 days to more so 180 days, 3 months to 6 months, your branding is looking better. You're improving. You're looking sharper online, because this is the facts. More people are going to see you online than people are going to see you in person. And I'm going to end with this point, right? If you want people to start following up with you, because that's a whole different level. If you want people to start coming to you, because you will get to a point in this business where you will be, yes, recruiting, and you'll be going through the daily activity of reaching out to people, but you're going to get to a point where you become magnetic and people are going to start reaching out to you. And that's where you want to be. Because once you get to that point, that's where the freedom starts to come in, where you have leads coming in. You hear people talking about leads. You have leads coming to you, and you don't have to go out there and try to get leads. And how? It's because you became attractive instead of trying to, go out there and I don't want to say manually, but that's what it really is. Go out there and actively engage in talking to people, which is important. That's important. Well, look at what Deborah said. You want to become the hunted instead of being the hunter. So awesome, guys. So with that being said, those are the points that I have tonight. So just run through really quickly. Tell me what you guys have. And what we're going to do is take a couple questions, probably about 5-10 minutes of questions. So anything you guys aren't clear on, anything you would like for the leaders on the line to explain, we can talk about that. We can do that tonight to kind of pass some time. Well, let me see in the chat really quickly, what are the points that we went through tonight, just to make sure everyone is paying attention. So what's the first point? What do you do in your process of following up? You want to make sure that your posture is right. All right? Don't be desperate. What comes after that? That's right. You want to bomb fam. You want to book a meeting from a meeting. You want to stay in control. You want to stay in control. What comes after that? Right? Some people aren't going to keep their word. You know, you got to be okay with that. Don't take it personal. Don't assume. And then remember this script. Remember this script, guys. This is for people that know they're talking to people and they're getting left on scene. You know, people aren't replying. You've read but haven't replied. Should I take it that you're no longer interested and this opportunity is not for you? Then you, after you do that, what do you want to do? You want to validate them. Right? You want to create reassurance. You want to make them feel confident if they're on the fence. You want to make sure that they feel confident in the decision that they're making. And you can do that by setting up a three-way with someone who has a similar situation to them. And then last thing, you know, you want to follow up until when? When do you follow up? Until when? When do you follow up until? Until they get started, or what? Or you realize that they're wasting your time. That's right. That's all we're ever doing. Following up until they get started, or until you realize, you know what, this person is really wasting my time. They say one thing and they've been doing that over and over and not keeping their word. So awesome. So that being said, guys, this is where the training officially ends. I'm going to leave the call open for like 5 more minutes just to give you guys a chance to ask any questions, any challenges you're facing. Because again, we don't want you to just come on the call and take notes. We want you to get equipped with the skills and we want you to go out there and then implement them. So if you've been having challenges, anything that you've been facing in your business to this date, then you can let us know. And, you know, we'll answer those questions for you, myself, some of the leaders on the line. If you've been having challenges with, you know, presenting, if you've been having challenges with closing, Kai did a phenomenal training on closing last week. Any challenges you're having, you can feel free to ask those questions right now. And then, you know, we'll answer them for you before we close out tonight's call. Okay, so here's a question. What if you know a particular person isn't going to be interested in trading? Knowing this, they'll most likely see the initial payment as too much or it's not worth it. Do you still tell them about the business? Well, here's one of the first laws of recruiting, right? Don't prejudge. Don't prejudge. Unless you have heard that person tell you, this is too much, I don't think it's worth it, I'm not interested in trading, don't assume, don't prejudge. You want to connect with them and expose the opportunity straight up, because you don't know. You may think they're not interested, and guess what? They may be. They may be. Especially, and this is what I tell people all the time, this is why it's so important to plug into the calls and see how leaders present, because you would be crazy if you're not interested in multiplying your money and learning to trade. And Kai and myself and all the leaders on the line, we know how to present in a manner that challenges your mindset to make you go off the call saying, hey, listen, I need to be trading though. That's why our closing rate is so hard. It's so high, because we know how to make you think you're not interested, but guess what? You are. You are interested in this. Just you don't know that you're interested. And it's because you don't know what to do with your money. So we're going to tell you what you need to be doing with your money, because somebody else was telling you what to do with your money ever since. The banks have been telling you to save your money, but they're not saving your money. And now we're giving you a chance to take control by investing and multiplying your money this is something that any person who is in their right mind will be interested in. Okay, in my experience, always the ones, okay, so it's just people you can't enroll, you should expect. I've heard it's too much. Right, yeah, and the response that I've heard it's too much is really a perception of value. It's really based on perception of value. And you will be surprised, it may be too much for them, but they may spend, I don't know where you're from, Kyla, but they may spend more money on a carnival costume. Nor they may spend more money going to a fete or a cruise, which is fine. We're not judging anyone, but we want to let people know that it's merely a perspective of value. And your goal as a leader is to show them the value of this product and why they need to be multiplying their money. This is why, again, I want to stress the importance of coming on the calls and learning how to present. Because there are certain things that we say in the presentation that forces people, not forces, but programs the person's mind to think a particular way, because, again, it's a mindset that we're going up against, right? It's a mindset. Okay, I got this call late, Demar. I think that's Demar from Montego Bay. But my issue is they want to ask me all the questions about Forex instead of accepting my invite for a live explanation. Okay, good. Perfect. So look at what Demar said. I got on this call a bit late. I currently have 45 persons interested in learning more about trading. But my issue is that they want to ask me all the questions about Forex instead of accepting my invite for a live explanation. And for me personally, this is what I would do. And let's get some feedback from some of the leaders. How would you leaders respond to a scenario like this? This is where I'm at. If you can't take the time out to watch a short video and then ask your questions, or then have my mentor, answer the questions that you are asking, then this opportunity may not be for you, because that means that you're not going to be willing to watch the videos in the IML Academy, right, and take the time out to actually learn the skill. You want the answers right now. And you know what that mindset translates to? I want to make money right now. And you know what ends up happening? I had a person that joined my group. We were at Atlanta last year, the beginning of last year. I'm in Atlanta at a team event. And this dude is blowing up my phone. Anxious. He needs to make money right now. This is what I told him. I told him, listen, brother, the way that you are communicating to me, you're not going to last in this business because you want to make money too much. No, not too much, sorry, too fast. You're too anxious. You're not giving yourself enough time to go through the education. And it's that same mindset that has people, wanting to get all the answers now instead of watching the video and actually learning, because their answers are in the question. Their answers are in, the information that the video is going to provide. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, all right. Liam asks, how can I close someone who says they are interested, but the moment you mention it to them, they don't admit they are on the fence, but it's obvious they're on the fence? Yeah, usually, Liam, in a situation like that, that person may be experiencing money issues and don't want to tell you that they don't have the money to get started. And let me show you how I deal with that. When I sense that you're beating around the bush and want to stay on the fence, I challenge you. I challenge you straight up. I say, do you have the money to get started? Direct. I'm like, all right, you've been on the fence for so long. Hey, bro, do you have the money to get started? Straight like that. And that will alleviate that challenge. All right? I mean, other leaders could chime in and answer the questions as well. Alan is asking, how do you respond when a potential client asks how much you're making? That's a great question. And you guys, everyone gets that. Let me tell you what my response was. And here's what I want another leader to come on and respond. And you could put it in the chat, or you could on your microphone. But this is what I say, all right? When I first got involved in the industry, because again, you never want to lie about your income. Never lie about your income, right? Never lie about your income. If you just got started and you aren't making any money, tell them, hey, listen, Alan, I just got started. So I haven't started to make any money as yet, but here's the key word. And you know, but negates everything that has just been said. So that person is going, because that's one of those words. What's the guy's name now, Ron? Oh my gosh, Big Al. Big Al has a training, a network marketing training. You guys should YouTube him. What but does is but means that I negate everything that was just said, and it programs your mind to focus on what I'm going to say after. So this is what you say exactly. Cast vision for where you see yourself. This is what I say. I just got started. I'm not making any money as yet, but I'm about to start earning this amount. Now you could choose how much ever you want to say. That's what they will remember. Please catch this. This is a key response. You're not lying. Listen, I am not making any money right now, Alan. I just got started. I'm still learning the education. But guess what, bro? But I'm about to start earning 10,000 US dollars a month. And I want you to be a part of it. I want you to make that kind of money with me. You see that response? That will quiet any underhand, because again, some people are conniving and they're really trying to make fun of you and say, you aren't making any money from this thing. That's why, again, you got to get results. You got to get results. And you could talk about other people's successes as well, like what Stefan is saying. Leverage other people's stories, and the reality is that the reason why I start with my story or casting vision for what my story will look like, because that person wants to see you. They want to hear you, right? Somebody may say, yeah, man, I heard of this young lady that turned $400 into 40K US. But what about you? Well, listen, that's her story, and you're right. It hasn't happened for me as yet, but I'm on track to do that within the next 90 days. Or don't give a time frame, because people are stubborn, and with that stubbornness, there's a little bit of stupidity in there too. Because this is what the person will say. Hey, well, when you start making the money, show me. Anybody ever had somebody say that before? When you start making the money, hit me up, follow up with me. Here's the response to that. And I want you guys to write this down, because this is powerful. Do you always wait for someone else to get success before you believe you can have success of your own? Please write that down. Do you always wait for other people to have success before you can believe in yourself that you can have success of your own? See, that's what you call a challenge. And what it does, it challenges that person mindset to make them say, well, you know what? That's really, true. I always wait for people to get results first before I can believe it can work for me. And if they say yes or if they say no, tell them again, because that's really a trap. Let me show you, and not in a negative sense. You are creating, okay, somebody say, please dictate that slower. Okay, so you ask them, they ask you about your amount, and you tell them how much money you're making. You tell them, I just got started, I'm not making any money as yet. Don't lie about your income. So you tell them the truth. I just got started, I'm not making any money as yet, but I am on track to start earning how much ever amount. You could choose how much ever you want to say. And then the person says, all right, well, when you make the money, follow up with me. You challenge them and you say, okay, are you the type of person that always waits until someone else gets success for you to believe in yourself that success can happen for you? Challenge them. And if they say no, well, tell them that that's what you're doing here. You're telling me that you need to see me get success first before you believe that it can work for you. Because that's what you're saying. You're not saying it directly, but that's what you're implying. It's a challenge. It's a challenge. And at that point, if it's a male, sometimes males have egos. Sometimes people have egos, period. I mean, you challenge them, the ego comes to the forefront and they don't get started, So that's the risk you have to be willing to take. Some people, I know there are people that haven't joined this opportunity because their ego won't allow them to. And there are people that have left because their ego allowed them to. So yeah. So I'm going to take 2 more questions before we close out the call. So that's going to put us at 10 o'clock, 5 minutes. So any other questions we can put in? And then before we close out tonight's call. Any other questions, guys? Anything you're not clear on? And please remember that there's no such thing as a stupid question. You know, that question that you're going to ask probably is going to help someone. If you're having challenges, if you're not getting the results that you want. Any question? If no question comes in one more minute, then we're going to close out the call. Couple more seconds. We'll close out the call. All right, guys. It doesn't seem as though anyone else has any questions. So with that being said, this is where the call officially ends, and I want to thank all of you for plugging in. Remember to apply what you learned tomorrow and for the rest of your life. As a matter of fact, don't let this call just be another call that you come on and get gassed up and learn something new and not use it to create freedom for you and your family. Because remember I said at the beginning, it's the skills that pay the bills. Once you develop the skills, you put yourself in the top 3% of the network marketing space, and it allows you to go on to make 6 figures and potentially 7 figures in this industry. With that being said, guys, have a great evening, everyone. See you next week, same place, same time, as we're going to be going through another skill, making sure that you guys are getting equipped with the 7 essential steps, essential skills you need to be successful in network marketing. So have a great evening, everyone. This is where the call officially ends. All right, so Stefan, you're the host, bro, so you can just close out the call. You can just exit.